not sure what's crazier today, my hair or this really cheap mascara. I'm having a mascara crisis. I've tried all the YouTuber faves, and they all suck. I don't like any of them. I used to have a favorite, the Neutrogena Healthy Volume Mascara, but let me tell y'all, it's not the same as it used to be. They discontinued it, brought it back, and it's flaking. And yeah. Anyway, you're not here to talk about mascara probably or listen to it. You're here for books. So, here's what I'm going to do. I have an idea. I've not read any actual 5-star books this year that weren't rereads. So I figured, let's do a 5-star predictions reading vlog. Never done one of those before. So I've got like 3 books on my shelf that I'm like fairly certain will be 5 out of 5 for me. Like I feel this in my soul. Like this is what they're going to be. So, and I'm at my mom's house. So if you see like pictures of myself in the background, I don't have pictures of myself generally, you know, just chilling unless I'm like with other people. So yeah, that's why. But anyway, but yeah, here's the 3 books that I'm going to tell you about and why I think I'm going to like them. And then we're going to do a vlog where I get to update you on my reading progress and if they're actually that good. And if I actually predicted accurately, okay? So first one is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I think that's her name. It might be Catherine Sutherland. We're going to find out, everybody. But, yes, so House of Hollow. All I know is that it's a YA book. And it's about these sisters who at one point like went missing when they were kids, and my cat is jumping on the kitty condo. But anyway, they went missing when they were kids, and when they came back they looked totally different and they acted super weird and they have no memory of what happened. Here, let's hang out with Sunny. Everyone loves Sunny. But yeah, it sounds like things start to kind of come back to haunt them from that time is kind of my understanding. And it's going to start to probably make more sense. The reason why I think that this is going to be 5 for me is because a lot of people have talked about how insanely weird it is. And I love that. I love weird books. So I think that I'm going to love that. I think that I'm going to probably be impressed by it because people that are difficult to impress were impressed by it. So, for example, like just different YouTubers that I watch that don't like YA were like really into this book and kind of surprised by how much they like it. And I'm the type of person, I'm fine with YA. I don't read it as much anymore now that I'm like getting old. But I don't know, that intrigues me when like a reviewer that's tough likes something that like, I don't know, it just got my attention. So it's weird. And picky people like it. So, sounds like I might like it. The other one is a literal shame that I've not read it yet. It's called Transcendent Kingdom, and it's by Yaa Gyasi. And I was obsessed with her debut novel, Homegoing. It is amazing. It's historical fiction, which I don't always do. This one was very, very good. And so I wanted to read Transcendent Kingdom just because I loved Homegoing that much. I don't always do that where like I don't always just automatically buy things by authors because like it really just depends on the synopsis. I was already really interested and then I read the synopsis of Transcendent Kingdom and like it actually sounds amazing and it sounds like something that I would like because it's about this main character who her family's had issues with like things like addiction and she is trying to, I believe that she's like a scientist. And she's trying to figure out and understand addiction better. But at the same time, she's also struggling with her faith. So we have this kind of juxtaposition of science and religion. And like, I don't know why I decided to film like on a kitty condo, whatever. Anyway, and how that's gonna like fit together for her moving forward. And I feel like I'm gonna vibe with that so much because that kind of sounds like that sounds very relatable to me with like my family and my own experiences. So I bought this like the year it came out, like in 2020, and I haven't read it yet. And I think it's literally just because like contemporaries intimidate me because they tend to be like, especially like Transcendent Kingdom sounds like really emotional. And like I already have too many feelings, so I've been kind of avoiding it for that reason. Also, like a lot of 5-star, like a lot of books that I predict will be 5 stars, I tend to do the thing where I wait for the best time to read it. But like, if it's really gonna be my like one of my favorite books, anytime's the best time. You know, it's not like anything else. Where like, oh, I'm in the mood for horror. I'm gonna pick this random book about a ghost. I have no idea if this is gonna be good or not. I'm not sure if it sounds like it's gonna be my thing, but I'm gonna try it. You know, it's not like that. So like, if I know that I'm gonna love it, I usually love it no matter when I read it. Usually. And then the next one that I want to read for this vlog is The Small Way to an Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I've not read any Becky Chambers before, and she sounds like my cup of freaking tea because it's science fiction, but it sounds very interpersonal. It sounds very slow paced, and I love that in sci-fi. So I'm excited about that. Honestly, the only reason I haven't read this one yet is because I really wanted the UK cover, so I finally got this series and all the UK covers. I thought that the US cover was literally hideous. So, yeah, there's that. And I think the UK covers are like literally gorgeous. So, but yeah, those are the 3 books. And so we got a mix of genres. I got like a kind of YA paranormal fantasy. I got adult contemporary, and then I have an adult sci-fi. And I think I'm going to love these. So, and I really hope that I do. So we're going to do this vlog. We're going to see what I think. Yeah, I definitely should have filmed on a kitty condo. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I don't know what I said, but I know it wasn't right. So that's what the book's called. So, I've read only a tad bit so far, just off and on for the past few days, just a few pages here and there, just because I haven't had a ton of time. And, like, at first I was like, okay, this is kind of strange. I don't know if it's, like, that strange yet. But then I hit chapter 3, and let me read something to you. So, one of the things that happened after the girls were taken and returned home magically or whatever, we don't know how, one of the things that changes their appetite, it's completely insatiable. And it's like not supposed to be like, because like they don't gain weight, but it's not meant to be like, ooh, quirky, she eats brownies and she's still skinny. Like it's not supposed to be weird and stupid like that, like an early 2000s teen movie. It's like inhuman. And so let me read this. So she's talking about how, like, our main character Iris is talking about how she has eaten 2 weeks worth of groceries in one night. And she says, I ate it all, every bite. I ate and ate and ate. I ate until my mouth bled and my jaw ached from chewing. Damn. This almost sounds vaguely familiar, so I almost wonder if I watched a review where they mentioned that. But like, whoa. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, so far I really do like this book. I think that the writing style is really pretty. And I think that it's definitely getting weird, and we're starting to build some suspense. So like it looks like there's something kind of going wrong with one of the sisters, and so they're going to try to figure out what it is, and right now we don't have a lot of answers. So I'm just beginning chapter 6, which is on page 58. See how much I can hash out today. See, I really like, there's certain moments of the writing that are really popping out at me. I really like this one. So it says, the curved windows on the other side of the train carriage reflected a strange beast back at me. There were 2 irises. One, my regular reflection, one upside down, both joined together at the skull. A creature with 2 mouths, 2 noses, and a shared pair of eyes, empty black ovals distorted and made huge by the curve in the glass. Like, that's That's so cool. That's so good. Like, that's so clear to me. Like, I get exactly what she's talking about. Okay, I'm done being a geek, I guess. Okay, I literally look greasy, so that's where we're at right now. But yeah, it's been a weird couple days. I got into a car accident for the first time. It wasn't bad. I was okay. Car is really okay. Car is just dinged. It was just like the whole situation was scary because it was like irate drivers and stuff like that. But yeah, so haven't been reading a ton for the past couple days, but I've made it up to page like 138. And so, you know, one thing that the synopsis on the like kind of book flap talks about is how the oldest sister, Gray, does go missing in the book. And so we've made it to that point that it's confirmed that she's gone, and we've got to figure out where she is, and things are kind of weird that are going on, and it's starting to really look like, I mean, it's always kind of looked like that this is a supernatural horror type thing, because I mean, we've got flowers growing in places that they shouldn't be growing, and like kind of pictures and out of dead bodies and stuff, so that's great. It's also starting to really look like this book is probably about repressed trauma. I mean, I feel like you can kind of figure that out earlier on, but now it's starting to kind of feel like in the narration and based off of something that Gray has said before going missing that like, did they really not remember anything? They probably do. I think that they're hiding something. So yeah, the backstory in the family is also really, really sad. Because it shows what the family went through after the girls went missing for the first time, and how, I don't know, ugly it really just made the marriage, and how many different things that the mom has been through in her own life. I feel really bad for her, and how poorly their parents were able to handle it, which is kind of understandable, and how even after they came back, how everything really just fell apart. So it's really sad. I think it shows how a traumatic experience could really pull a whole family apart. Granted, this is a really extreme way, but still. But yeah, I think thematically things are shaping up to be very, very interesting, very meaningful, and pretty weird. Like, I like the level of weirdness that we're at. This isn't like the most crazy thing I've ever read, or at least not yet, but it's good. It's interesting. It's spooky. The stakes are, I think, rising kind of slowly, but I'm really invested, and I want to know what these girls are and what happened to them, and so I'm hoping I get some answers soon. I'm like dying to know what Gray said to their mom when she left. Like, whatever it was crazy, but I don't know what it is still. I feel like we're getting close to that revelation. I want to know what it is. I have theories, but I'm not sure. Everyone has a friend that would say that in this situation. Excuse me, I'm going to go and shit in the woods like an animal. book, though. Like, okay, where do I start? So I finished House of Hollow last night, and I feel like out of everyone in this like 5-star predictions vlog, this is the one that was like kind of my wild card, because I had a really good feeling about it. I knew that there was definitely the potential, but I feel like out of the three, this is the one that like I would assume out of those three would be the most likely to maybe disappoint me, or maybe not be quite what I anticipated. But it was amazing. I read the second half of it all in one go, and it was just honestly kind of perfect. I loved the writing. It's so beautiful, and the descriptions are just so apt, very well done. Like, we have, like, I don't know, there's certain things that, like, lines that are kind of sticking with me, like calling Gray a tornado of a girl, and like talking about how, you know, beauty is a disguise. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's not very good. I should have just pulled out like specific quotes to share with you, but like I didn't because I read too fast. But like they're so good. So the writing itself is amazing. And then the story itself is really dark. It ended up getting much darker than I thought that it would, and in a really the best way. Like, it's kind of gross, but like it's not so gross that like it made me squeamish. Like, it's a fantasy horror type thing, and fantasy horror for me, I have an easier time with stuff like that than like realistic horror. But yeah, like it's kind of gross. It's super mysterious. I wasn't really sure where this was gonna go until like the last second. And I'm just like really in awe of the whole thing. I think that the characters were really well developed. Even though this isn't like a very long book, I feel like the ones that we focus on have a lot of emotional depth. I mean, this is YA. Like, normally parents are pretty MIA in YA, but like I really felt for this family's like parents too. Like, I don't think I've loved or felt as much for YA parents since Charlie and Twilight. Like, just saying. I think that it explores trauma and trauma responses really well. I think that it explores the idea of beauty and power pretty well. Tyler Yang, oh my god. I thought that he was just going to be there for comedic relief. Like, some of his lines literally made me laugh out loud because he was just a giant mood. So Tyler Yang in this book is the oldest sister, Gray's boyfriend, and he's also a supermodel like her, because Gray's a supermodel, and he's like obviously super gorgeous, and he dresses in this very kind of gender fluid way, and he's just so funny the entire time. But like literally his story is the one that actually made me choke up a little bit by the end. Like, holy crap, I did not expect to love him that much. These sisters, like, you go from admiring, like, or at least from my point of view, kind of admiring one character for a lot of the time to being like, oh my god. I don't know. I didn't think that it was going to go quite in the direction that it went, and definitely not to the extent. It's very weird. It's very dark. The imagery is super rich and super unique, and I think that that's all going to stick with me for a really long time. I think that this whole thing's going to stick with me for a really long time. I love that she ended it where she did. The epilogue sets it up that like there could definitely be a sequel for this book someday. And I know that she's not sure. I was reading interviews that Crystal Sutherland doesn't know if she's going to do that yet or not, but she kind of purposely left it open-ended in case she wants to revisit it later. Like, if she writes a sequel to this, first of all, I'm going to be scared because this is like perfect. So like my expectations are going to be like through the roof. However, I would absolutely love to know what happens next. Right now, though, I kind of I have my own kind of inference, and I kind of like, whenever there's something that ends kind of open-ended, I always just kind of like write my own ending in my head, and I usually write it the way that I would want it, so like the happiest way possible for everybody. But there is huge possibilities for things to be messy after the end of this book too, so I feel like my thoughts about it aren't even that coherent because I love it so much, so sorry. But yeah, overall, amazing writing. Great character development, especially within such a short amount of time. Great complicated morality and thematic development. Beautiful descriptions, gorgeous, creepy, gross worlds and stuff happening. Like, I don't know. This hit the mark in every way for me. So I really loved it. I totally recommend it. If you're in the mood for horror, especially if you like fantasy horror or like more like fairy tales and stuff like that too, because I'm not usually a fairy tale person, but I loved where this went because it's so weird and it's so dark. So this is off to a great freaking start. So like this is my favorite book so far that I've read this year. So 5-star rating vlog it's taken me places and I'm very excited to continue. Sun's shining, it's raining. It's just doing a little bit of everything. I'm 60-something pages into Transcendent Kingdom, and I'm so into it so far. The writing is super pretty and concise. I think that the main character, Gifty, is super likable so far, and it's very easy to feel sympathy for her and her family's different struggles. So her brother had struggled with addiction. Mom is clearly mentally ill. Not sure what has happened to Dad yet, but Dad's not really there anymore, so whether he's just not in the picture or something, I'm not sure. I love the science-y stuff that's going on because the main character is a scientist and she's trying to study addiction specifically, and I love hearing about what she's studying, why she's studying it. She's making scientific connections and psychological connections between what she's learning and like her family, obviously. I also love the development of her connection to religion and how it was very, very strong as a child, but then as she got older and, you know, all of these horrible things started happening, that relationship really starts to shift. So I think that this is a really great book so far. I love that we're kind of learning things kind of slowly. And, like, it doesn't feel like we're getting too lost in flashbacks or anything. I feel like we're going kind of back between what's happening right now and some of Gifty's reflections pretty seamlessly. There was one quote that really, really, really stood out to me, especially as somebody, who has addiction running in through their family. Let's see if I can find it. So, throughout high school, I never touched a drop of alcohol because I lived in fear that addiction was like a man in a dark trench coat stalking me, waiting for me to get off the well-lit sidewalk and step into an alley. I had seen the alley. Yeah, because that's something that I'm afraid of too. And personally, I don't drink ever, and it's because of different things from my family. And I love that, Jesse seems to have like a really good grasp on how there can be a sense of stability and a sense of okayness in a really screwed up family environment, and how like we as readers, we look at this and you're like, okay, Gifty, but that was never okay in the first place, even though you were able to survive in that environment sometimes and it felt like, okay, this is livable. It doesn't mean that it was good. So it wasn't ever really okay. The way that they describe that kind of betrayal of family members that you trust, kind of not giving you, kind of what you need from them as children. I think it's a really well done exploration. Like I said, we're only in the 60 some pages and this is already super deep. And like I said, really well written. Love the pacing. I love that it's perfect because I'm super engaged because like she's not revealing everything right away. Um, it's at just the right pace, and so right now Gifty is taking care of her mom. So Gifty's literally studying neuroscience at Stanford. She busy. But she had her mom move back in with her because she had heard that her mom was not doing well again, and so there's also that kind of struggle of, you know, how do you take care of your mother when she doesn't interact with you, she doesn't really get out of bed or anything like that. So it's, yeah. So obviously I can't really relate to all of Gifty's experiences because she's also touching on the experiences of being um, a black African immigrant in the United States. And obviously I don't have any experience with that. So she's touching on those experiences. I clearly don't really relate to those. And even though Gifty's specific story with addiction and her family is different from mine, there's still so many passages that were really jumping out to me. So yeah, I don't know. This is the one that I was really scared would disappoint me because I hyped it up so high because like it just sounded so perfect for me and for kind of like someone with my experiences. So I'm really excited that it's living up to the hype so far. Be interesting to see where this is going. Okay, so I've read like a little over half of this book now, so almost there. I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight though. I'm not going to have as much time to read. What is my hair doing anyway? I don't know. It's drying. She's fine. I am still really enjoying this. Gifty is definitely getting into more like, okay, I know what happened with the Chin Chin Man now, and I know, oh, there's still a clip in there. Oops. And I know more about what happened with her brother and how he became addicted, and it's sad stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm not like crying as I read this book. But I'm definitely still I'm feeling my way through. Since Gifty has grown up in Alabama and in this very, very religious community, she definitely had a very different religious upbringing compared to like me. And like it really impacted a lot of like her education and whatnot. And that's interesting to read about because I know that that happens to a lot of people. And so if that's also kind of your experience where like church really influenced your like actual like school. But yeah, like I'm still engaged. I'm still really impressed, and I definitely think that this is gonna probably be a 5-star. Like I think that my prediction's pretty spot on. I think that I'm really gonna love this because I mean I'm already loving it, but I have a feeling that this is gonna end in a way that's really impactful. I can feel it. And then also just going off of Homegoing, the ending of Homegoing made me cry because the way that it wraps up together so beautifully. So I'm anticipating that she ends this pretty strongly as well. So it's good stuff. Awkward lighting, but whatever, it's fine. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop apologizing for what I look like right here, right now. Like, from this day forward on my channel, oop, there's my hand. But from this day forward on my channel, I'm just not apologizing if I'm not putting makeup on or anything like that, because that's stupid and no one cares, actually. And if you don't care, that's kind of your problem. Bye. Anyway, I haven't vlogged in a while. And it's because, I haven't been reading very much because for the past couple weeks I've been wrapping up the school year. I started my next class for my master's degree. It's a Shakespeare class. I've finished Transcendent Kingdom. I haven't really discussed what I thought about it since then, and I haven't started The Long Way to a Smiling Great Planet yet, but I'm going to hopefully today. We'll see. Transcendent Kingdom, though, I finished it. I did give it a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. I will say the ending didn't hit me the way that I wanted the ending of that book to hit me. Is this lighting better? Do I look sun-kissed now? Anyway. Yeah, the ending was just not my fave overall. I think that we needed to see Gifty down the line. It just felt... I don't know. It wasn't quite as impactful as I wanted it to be. I think that the vibe had been maintained pretty much the entire time, that I kind of felt like it was written in a way that was kind of essay-ish, which I didn't mind. I could see why a lot of people didn't resonate with it, because it's like either you have been impacted by these topics or you haven't been. Like, either you were gonna connect with her thoughts on addiction and the shame and the feelings that you can, the whole myriad of feelings that you feel when you know someone who is an addict, or you don't. And either you have had conflicts with your own religion or spirituality, or you haven't. Like, it kind of goes down to this. So I definitely don't think that this book is for everybody. If I will say, if those topics appeal to you, absolutely read it, because that's what I did, and I had a good time. So many quotes really stuck out to me. I think it's so well written in general. I will say one thing that shocked me, though, is that Gifty is clearly a bisexual icon, and it kind of felt weird that she talks about so many other facets in her life related to her spirituality, but even though she grew up in this super conservative atmosphere, she does not address her sexuality in relation to it at all. I don't know how. I'm assuming that that's intentional. But, or maybe the author felt like it's been done to death. I don't know. It just kind of surprised me that that wasn't super explored. It didn't make me, like, cry, even though it was a hard-hitting read. I think that, yeah, Josie's a really gifted writer. I'm going to read everything that she puts out, so... there's that. We're 2 for 2 from her. I loved Homegoing, and I loved Transcendent Kingdom. Am I necessarily gonna... is it necessarily like an all-time favorite? I don't know if we're quite there, but she's definitely close. I think that I need to let her sit with me even longer just to see, you know, how my feelings change or maintain about it, you know, as time continues. So far... one thing that does shock me is I kind of planned out these books in order from the ones I least expected to like to the one I most expected to like. And so far, I will say, if I were to pick a favorite of the year between House of Hollow and Transcendent Kingdom, it actually would be House of Hollow, which surprises me. I didn't think I would love that one quite as much as I did. Like, I thought, I mean, obviously I did, because it was a 5-star prediction, but that was only if I got what I was promised to get out of it, you know, by the internet. And it was so good. But yeah, the one, though, that I was most anticipating to love is the next one, The Long Way to a Smiling Great Planet. So, I just had breakfast at Panera. I'm gonna hit the gym. I gotta get cat litter from Petco. And then hopefully later today, I will start to read that one. So, I love science fiction. I love subtle science fiction. So I think that this has always been the book for me, honestly. I went ahead and I bought all of the, I don't know if I talked about this in the vlog already. I bought the British editions from Book Depository, so I have the whole series. So I better like it because I have the whole series. This lighting is so, I'm split up. I'm half in the sun and half not. Anyway, yeah, off to the gym, then to get cat litter, then go home and probably take a shower. and then hopefully get some reading done. I need to write my Shakespeare paper, but I don't feel like it. So the past couple days I have been reading some of Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and it's like cute. I mean, I'd always heard that it was kind of wholesome. It is. It's very wholesome. And right now, I mean, I think Rosemary sounds kind of adorable. I love Kizzy. Sissix is really lit. Ashby's like kind of there right now, but he seems cool. I'm a big fan of our short king, Jenkins. I think that he's gonna be my favorite, because this dynamic with him and Lovey, I think, is so cute. At least I hope it ends up being cute. This could end up being sad, but right now it's cute to me. The science is sciencing, so I feel like sometimes people talk about it like, oh, it's hard sci-fi, or oh, it's cute. Like, trust me, it can be both, and it is both. Yeah, the science is great. I love this idea of tunneling and how they are literally creating wormholes through the universe, and like that's this ship's job, and that's everyone's job on there. Well, it's not everyone's job. Rosemary is like a glorified receptionist, in my opinion. She's keeping all of their formal stuff organized. So obviously Rosemary has a bit of a past that she's not talking about yet to the reader or to anybody. So interested in seeing what's going on there. I love the different species. The chef guy is really cute, even though he sounds scary to look at. And oh, how do you say it? The Sinite pears or something? However you say that. The pears. We'll just call them that. That person, people. I wonder if that's going to go back to that idea that in the universe there's always like a twin particle. Like for every particle there's a twin particle. And so like there could be, for example, one little particle on my fingertip and its pair is all the way on the other side of the universe somewhere. I wonder if that's the concept that it's going by. There's an official term for that. I'm gonna see if I can remember it. I remember reading about a Michio Kaku book. I'm gonna put it up there if I remember. But it's super cool, and I wonder if that's the idea that it's based off of. So, lit. I always wondered how the covers for the UK and the US edition were so different, and I think it's because of the intense vibes of just fun and kind of wholesomeness that's kind of encapsulated in the US cover. But this one, I think, is showing that kind of hardcore science element. I love how you see my kitty bookmark just popping out up there. But yeah, because it does sound like, from what I understand, is that this is a really, really good series. I feel like it's not just wholesome vibes. It's also, from what I understand, pretty reflective. So it's been literally days since I've read anything from this book, because I've been reading stuff for Shakespeare class, and like I read Much Ado About Nothing and fell asleep during part of it. It's just not my favorite one. Like it's okay. It's not like there's nothing happening. It's really not my favorite one. So that's how that's going. So the 5-star reading blog keeps getting interrupted by the other stuff I have to read, not for the blog, but for my class. So that's what's happening there. Also, done a little bit of just writing too, which hasn't happened in a minute. So I don't know. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet has been slow going so far, but I'm trying to make some progress. I will say so far it's surprising, because like just based off the first like 100 pages, you know, this is the one that I most expected to just instantly love. I feel like this is probably my least favorite out of the 3 so far, but like, you know, I'm only 100 out of like 400 pages in, so a lot can change, but we'll see. This has been kind of different. Not what I expected. Not me DNFing a book in the 5-star reading predictions video. Okay, so one thing I kind of didn't super anticipate is that I haven't read much cozy sci-fi. And so, I don't know, a lot of the things that I'd heard about this book made it seem like I would really love it, and the fact that it was cozy, I felt like wasn't gonna have anything to do with it. Like, I felt like I was still gonna like it. I think that cozy sci-fi is just not my thing. So, like, I have been pretty preoccupied with my class, but the thing of it is, like, in my spare time, I've found myself thinking, oh, I should read this, and then my brain immediately goes to other things that sound more interesting to me. I don't think it's a bad book. I think that Becky Chambers does a great job of creating that cozy environment, even though there are some really serious things going on. And so I feel like if that's something that you feel like you really need right now, go for it. Because the cast of characters, they are interesting. They're well developed, I would say. It's just, there's something about the overall vibe that I'm just not clicking with them. So I don't think that it's a bad book. It is slow, I will give you that, and I knew that when I said that I like slow sci-fi, that it was going to bite me in the butt as soon as I said it, because now, like, the past couple sci-fi books that I've read have been so freaking slow. The thing is, if it's slow, like, just in regards of, like, the world building and, like, figuring out what's going on, yes. But, like, if I'm over halfway through this book and I don't really know, there's a couple of conflicts where I can tell where that's gonna go, like with Jenks and Lovey, and then with Ashby and his hot alien girlfriend. I kind of see where those things are gonna go. Everything else I kind of don't. Like, I'm not really seeing where a big plot's gonna be, and if this book is pantsed, like if that was kind of her writing style and this is supposed to be more episodic, it's very possible that we won't get that, and then I know I won't like it. It's just the way that I am. I feel like at this point in the story, I need a little bit more direction. I need to be able to kind of see where we're going. But you know what, though? You know, I kind of had a bad feeling that I jinxed myself, because you know what I freaking did? Book Depository said they were closing, and I bought the whole series in the British editions. Every single time I buy an entire series of books before I've read, like, the first 1 or 2 books, I end up not finishing it, or I just don't care for it, or something. So now I just got the whole series in the UK editions, and UK spines are freaking weak, guys. They're weak, and it like folds really easy, like in UK paperbacks compared to a lot of US paperbacks. Like, it just does not take much. So that's bent. So that one I wouldn't consider like new. I would say it's gently used. The other ones are new. So I don't know. Eventually those are gonna have to go on eBay. I'm gonna hold on to them a little bit longer because they are pretty. I did rush to pay for them. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe someday I'll want to go back to it and give it a second chance. I kind of don't think so. I'm going to hold on to it a little bit longer just in case. But for the most part, I think that this just wasn't for me. Wrapping up this entire experience, I read these books in the order that I that I anticipated I'd be most likely to give 5 stars, from least to most, but it ended up being most to least, because out of the 3, House of Hollow is my favorite, Transcendent Kingdom is my second favorite, and Small Angry Planet just wasn't quite for me. So kind of interesting how that worked out. So 2 of the 3. But like I said, I don't even really think that, like, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, I don't think it's a bad book. It's not for me. So, okay. I hope you enjoyed this journey. It kind of took forever. It wasn't really that long until I started my class. I took a couple weeks off of reading because I was working and, you know, teaching and then learning for the master's course at the same time. But then after that, it's just like too slow. Wasn't for me. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you guys are reading some good books. Let me know in the comments books that you've given 5 stars to lately, or any that surprised you for good or for bad. Okay? Bye, guys.